Well, it's morning now, and I'm very, very glad that it's morning because it rained a lot last night. It rained from probably 7 in the evening all the way through maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. And it was just a constant heavy rain. So I am really glad that I did hike out of where I was yesterday, because not only would I not want to have been on the backpacking part of the trip when the rain was falling, but also the roads. It's probably about 26 miles of roads from the trailhead all the way to the main road. And many of those roads become somewhat impassable if you have a lot of heavy rain, so that could have been pretty bad. But it was raining so much last night that I didn't even want to bother setting up a tent, a bivvy, anything like that, so I just slept in my truck. And it's not easy to do when your truck is full of gear, but I was able to rearrange some stuff in the back. And I put it all back for now, but basically I moved a bunch of stuff so I could sleep kind of across where the back seats would be if they were there, but they're kind of folded down. So it wasn't long, there wasn't enough space for me to stretch out my legs, so I'm just constantly shifting around all night long. But that being said, I am glad it's daylight, and now I'm gonna head over to Capitol Reef and see if I can get myself a campsite and start exploring and maybe get some breakfast. Well, I got my camp set up, and now I'm just kind of cruising through the park here because I am on a little bit of a mission right now, because when I was here almost exactly a year ago, I left a dollar bill sitting underneath a rock, and I gotta go and get that dollar bill. I don't know why I do this. I just find it's, I don't know, maybe it gives me a reason to come back again and again because I gotta get my dollar bill back. But let's go see if it's still there. I hiked up to where I left the money, and sure enough, it was still there. And to my surprise, it was a $5 bill. I thought it was a $1 bill, but it was a $5 bill. And kind of cool to think that that money had been sitting there during the summer heat, during the monsoon flash flood season, during the winter snow, and had been there for almost exactly a year. And I come back and pick it up again. So I don't know why I do that, but just kind of a fun thing to do. But something that's not really fun to do, load and film, but I gotta do it. I have very little film loaded right now, but I really should unload the film from the backpacking trip and then load up some fresh film, so when I do find something, I'll be prepared. But to be honest, I am a little sore right now. I'm a little tired right now. I think the hike out of the canyon yesterday did me in a little bit. My legs are really sore. I'm kind of walking funny, but I think it's time to get some film loaded and then see what I can find as far as something to put my camera at. So I spent some time loading film and then kind of getting everything in order, kind of switching from backpacking mode to working out of the truck mode. So I had to kind of organize things and get everything all set. But then I kind of set off and sort of hiked through some of these canyons here just to kind of get a feel for them in reflected light, because the entire time that I was here last year, I had very, very little reflected light. And in the few hours that I've been here already, I mean, I've seen more reflected light than I saw a whole trip last year. So it's interesting, and it's a matter of kind of relearning the location and kind of seeing it in a different light, in this case, a much better light. But it's also been very, very windy. So that's also something to take into consideration, because if I do find that right subject, if it's gonna be windy the whole time, it's gonna be a little bit of an issue. But I still got a lot of time today just to kind of wander around and see what else I could find. So I'm pretty sure that earlier today, I said I was gonna take it easy today. So my legs are sore, my legs are tired, but I'm not gonna do that. Found a pretty cool thing. I want to scramble up to it. Let's see if we make for a good subject. Because I've got some reflected light today. Also some wind. If you're not scrambling, if you're not working hard enough. And I would love to expose some film today. I'll just get a plan on when I'm going to expose some film. So, gotta try to find a subject. Well, I got to the top and all I found was a nice view. It's not quite the view I was after, though. I'm not really going for like the grand landscape sort of stuff. What I'm really looking for are some trees I can photograph. And I just absolutely love the way that trees give a sense of life to the landscape. It kind of paints a story. It makes it so it's not just a photo of that tree. It kind of helps to kind of tell a story about, you know, survival and everything else that kind of goes along with trying to live in this harsh environment. And I mean, a beautiful sandstone cliff, that's great, but you need something else to anchor it. And so that's what I'm looking for some trees, and we'll see what I can find. Well, there's been a bit of a change in the weather. Some clouds are coming in, and it's getting really windy, especially down here in these canyons. But the good news is I found a subject I really like. It's kind of like what I was talking about earlier as far as a tree up against a sandstone cliff. But the conditions I need for that photo are going to be a morning when it's nice and sunny, no wind, and I know I'll get those conditions at some point during this trip. But if I find a subject, to me that is equally as important as taking a photo, because it kind of gives me that mindset of, I got a plan, I just got to stick to that plan, and I know I'll get some photos I really like. But now I'm just going to keep wandering around and see what other kind of subjects I can find.
Got dinner going here, but before I let you guys go for the evening, I've got two little tips to pass along, things I've kind of learned in the field. First of all, you take a bar of soap and you throw it in a bag and you throw it on your dash. Throughout the day your car is going to smell like Irish Spring, which is good because it's better than smelling like 4-day-old me without a shower. Second of all, on the topic of trash smell, if you use a dry bag as a trash bag, not only is it a reusable bag, you can just empty it out when you find a trash can, but any trash smell that's in there is not going to get into the rest of your truck. So a couple things I've learned, and I've been smelling Irish Spring ever since.
If you enjoy this ad-free content and want to help me live my dream, a voluntary contribution of just $24 a year helps keep my gas tank full and my film freezer stocked. For more information on how to support me and my work, please visit the donation section of my website at benhorn.com/donate. I also have books and prints available on my website. You can find a direct link down below in the show notes. Thanks in advance for your support.